This is section 8.3, and we're going to learn about the law of cosines. Now, we've been using the law of sines, and now we're going to get the law of cosines that we can use to solve those cases 3 and 4 that were pointed out when we first started this. So case 3 was 2 sides in the included angle or 3 sides. And these are not things that you have to memorize, but know where, have this list so that you'll be able to make sure you write these correctly. For a triangle with sides lowercase a, b, c and opposite angles uppercase a, b, and c, you can use these. So if you c squared equals this, b squared equals this, a squared equals this, and you'll note if you have c here, you're going to have a c in your angle, b, b, a. So there's things you could remember to be able to do these, but you don't have to memorize it, you just have to know how to use it. So in this one, solve this triangle if you are given this angle and b and c. And so in order to do that, we've got to solve for side A, and we don't have anything that we could use law of sines to do that. So we'll start out with a squared equals, and we'll use that formula there. And then from there, we're just going to plug in the pieces that we do have. So 12.9 squared plus 15.4 squared minus 2 times both those sides times cosine of 42.3. Now, I should note all of this whole thing here is being subtracted. So be sure that you make note of that when you do it in your calculator. So you get a squared is 109.7, take the square root, you get a is 10.47, so I wrote that there. Then you could use the law of sines to continue and get one of these angles, and then you could use the Pythagorean theorem and get the third angle. So that's how we're going to do it. Let's go look at our problem sets. So we start out with some language. If 3 sides of a triangle are given, the law of blank is used to solve the triangle. And we noted that one of the things we use law of cosines for was 3 sides if they're given. So that's cosines. If 1 side and 2 angles are given, which law can be used to solve the triangle? So if 1 side and 2 angles, you can use the law of sines. All right, we're going to solve this one, and 3 sides are given. And you could start with any of the formulas on this one. I decided to start and use the a squared one. So I did that. Now note that I'm putting in the 4 for a, squaring it equals 6 squared plus 7 squared minus 2 times 6 times 7 times cosine of a. So 16 equals, I squared those, minus, I went ahead and put that in a bracket to help me remember all of this is being subtracted. So one more step, I added those two things. Now I'm going to subtract this 85 over here, and I have negative 69 equals negative 84 cosine A. Now, since that's the only thing here, I can divide by the negative 84, and I get this. And that's equal to cosine A. Now, for the answer that's going in, I can use 34.8 as going there. But when you are doing everything else, don't round to 1 digit. Just go ahead and use the whole thing. So, for example, sine of 34.8 over 4, and I did not do that in that writing there. So, and I just checked it, but I wrote this here, but you should not put the 34.8. Use the 34.77, and that will give you this amount. So I didn't write it on either of those. I need to change that, but I did note it here. Use this not rounded when you do this, and then you'll get the correct answers, and then you can round as needed for here. So that should work there. Let's look at this one. In this one, we are given angle C and 2 sides. So we've got the angle C. Let's say C squared and use that formula. We're plugging in everything. We just don't have side C. So we end up with 26 minus 10 cosine 60. I'm gonna do all of that in one thing on the calculator. So when we do that, you get C squared is 21, take the square root and you get 4.58. Once you have that, you can go here and say sine 60 over 4.58 equals sine B over 1. Sine B over 1. You do your cross multiplying and you end up with sine B is equal to this over this. And we'll you'll get a number and then you'll do second sign, second answer to get this. Perhaps we need to do that on the calculator. So I've brought my calculator up. Let's make sure that I'm not in degree mode. So let's go here, put it in degree mode. Second, quit. All right, so just wanted to show you that if you do sine 60, close, divided by 4.58, we get that. Then we'll do second sine, second answer. So we're saying this is our sine, and we want to know the angle that has that. And we hit enter, and we get 10.89. I didn't round. We're rounding to one decimal place. It's going to be 10.9. All right, and then to get the last angle, you can add the two angles and subtract from 180. So that should be fairly easy. So on these, we're usually using law of cosine to get the first thing that we cannot get otherwise, and then use law of sines. Same thing here. We had two sides. We have three sides. No, we have two sides and one angle. So we'll start with the a squared, and we'll get that. And once we have the 11.17, we can use the law of sines and get those. Here we are given two sides and an angle. So I started with c squared because, no. Let's see. Yes, we were given 50. So c squared equals all of this. You can do this much in your calculator and then take the square root and you get 4.96. Use the law of sines to get angle A. And angle B you can get with the idea of three angles adding up to 180. On this one, we're given three sides, so you can pick whichever one you want to start with. I did a squared, 18 equals, and you just plug in everything else till you can get down here, divide by the negative 240. You have this is equal to cosine A, so second cosine of that, and you get the 98.4, and then you can use the law of sines. So I think there's 7 questions. Use the law of cosines first and finish with the law of sines, and you should be fine on that. It's really just a lot of calculation.